okay, him, okay. You know, how about this guy? And then we're in class, and Dan says, because he's a progressive indirect teacher in a didactic, brilliant way. And so Dan says, you know what Bruce Lee used to do to me? He'd have me go out checking out all the other arts. And then I finally figured out why he did that. He's talking to me, and I'm over here, and there's 30 people in this. And he goes, just so he could have some, so I could have some friggin' appreciation. And I just went, whoa. I get it. Okay, I get it. So that's Dan's trip. And in the process of exploring with all these Wing Chun people, they all wanted to say, like any other art, my Wing Chun is better than his Wing Chun. Scooby-Doo, he sucks. He blasts this way and we blast this, okay? And there's this whole thing, okay? So in law, they say, if you don't have the facts on your side, okay, pound the, I'm sorry? Louder. Yes, pound the gavel if you don't have the facts on your side. Pound the law if you don't have the law on your side. And if you don't have the facts on your side or the law on your side, just pound the desk and bitch at everything you can. That sucks. He's that. Okay? And that's what I get with all martial artists. I've done this myself. Well, everybody, it's a human trait. Okay? You feel competition, there's an insecurity, there's a financial competition going on, automatically he sucks. So does this guy, he couldn't. Okay? So while traveling around, one Wing Chun guy would say, well, we have actually 8 ways to do the straight blast. Another guy would say, 8? Oh, yeah, well, we have 12. Okay? And then, this is 1, this is 2, or, and they're in these intricacies that you can look at them and go, that's really not important shit, bro. Okay? So, when you see the blast, don't think about how many straight blasts you have. Okay? You can blast with your palms, you can blast with the thigh, you can blast with your hands, you can blast and then come with a left hook or a right and go back to your blast. You know what I mean? And it's all cool. It's all cool. But I want to introduce with you something higher than we have more blasts than him. Our Wing Chun's better than him. Our Krav Maga's better than his Krav Maga. Our Jeet Kune Do is better than his Jeet Kune Do. It happens in all arts. What's the art of harmony? Aikido. They're fighting like cats and dogs. Okay, so no matter what religion or who it is, okay, when that inherent competition insecurity kicks in, some people, like Dan, have risen above that. They're like, well, let's just disagree and be friends. Go over to my house and eat Filipino food. I don't care if you like the way I do a blast. Who cares? Okay? All right, so I'm going through the slow talk first in the morning. We'll get faster, don't worry. So we have a straight blast. You can get your notes out now. I want you to think of this as water. And the blast is your hub of your wheel, and it's your water. Your whole combat system, even if you got weapons, you want to come in with forward pressure. Forward pressure wins everything. And you need it with everything that comes from Wing Chun. Okay? So you've got your straight blast as water, and this water can fit into any container that it wants. So picture Tai Chi as a container. Picture Dumog as a container. Picture Thai boxing as a container. Okay? The first container, well, first I want to show you how to blast properly and how to receive it properly. And then once we do that, the blast is going to turn into the very first container, Tai Chi. So it literally mutates to Tai Chi. Okay? Why Tai Chi? To push somebody? Anybody? If I want to move a body out of the way quickly, that's what Tai Chi does. Okay? Tai Chi is a pushing art that moves a body. Dumog is a pulling art that moves a body. When you put them together, that body doesn't know whether to shit or wind its wads. Okay? So with Tai Chi, with Tai Chi. What makes it so good at pushing? Anybody? Why did it? It's the base. It's the base. That's just how they train it. There's just synergy like that. Okay? And if you do it well, so if you can imagine you're in a fight, you're scrambling, and you do a Tai Chi blast, and this guy moves a little bit. So you get that moment in time, where, and that's where Tai Chi is. Okay? Well, imagine if you're straight blasting, and his inertia is already going back. And then when you go, wow, 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 you feel like Superman. I mean, the guy with, so when you add Wing Chun to Tai Chi, you didn't double it, you squared it. It's synergistic. One thing helps the other, okay? And that straight blast is the synergy for anything. If you want to make your boxing better, your grappling, you want to take a guy to the ground, what do you think's easier? Pulling off a straight blast or pulling off a takedown? Okay? I mean, straight blasts are so simple, so easy, and so safe. Okay? So if you get him going backwards and then shoot, the takedown's easy. So that blast makes everything work exponentially. But moreover, the main point is it takes all people and erases their art. What else does it erase when you're running backwards?
All their attributes, obviously.
All of their attributes. You jump higher, really, when you're running backwards. Okay? You're stronger, you're this, you're that. You're nothing. Impotent. That's it. Bruce had some of his guys jumping in tournaments. He's got, I think it was Ted Womack, I don't remember. Dan was in the crowd. And Bruce is, and Ted's here like this. He's like a karate guy. And Ted goes, Teddy! Teddy looks up and he goes, Wounded Crane. And that was his, okay? Wounded Crane. Did you ever see a crane stance? Kung Fu? The Wounded Crane. Okay? So as soon as he says that, Teddy knows. So he goes, Wounded Crane. This guy flailing backwards. Okay? What are you doing? Straight blast. Bruce is what said straight blast. Okay? So what else do you take away? The thing that I love the most. Not just his side. Not just his attributes, but his side. There's no, how do you beat a guy that's huge? That's the task. Beating somebody your size, under 6 foot, under 200 pounds, but when you get up in the 250s, and you don't have the leverage in any manner, okay? But when you're punching up into this chin, and this thing boom, 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 and then from there, most of my best follow-ups were not from this blast, tie box, headbutt, knee, elbow. Most of my follow-ups, when I'm scared shitless, and you can put a, when I'm scared, is I will blast and be looking. And because he's still like this, I got the time to, and I just love that. A bottle in the face after a blast. Because the bottle in the face before the blast, why not him first? That's a difficult thing. You got it, he's got it, you're in that again. He throws a punch, boom, just a little hit, whatever it is, bam. Like a football player can see that goal line. You have to make this blast so second nature. You have to have blasted 100 miles. I'm making this up, okay? So let's say this is 20 feet. Extrapolate that. When you're into 100 miles, you've blasted enough. It's all into flight time, okay? Now here's what screws us up blasting. Our training partner. And if your training partner is going to screw you up, you're never going to be good. So the problem with blasting is why it works. You can go forward considerably faster than any human being can run backward. Okay? So if you're training for it, and I throw a punch, and I want you to go forward, and I'm running backwards like this, and I'm asking you to give me some dynamic forward pressure, it's not going to work. Okay? So what you have to do is, in football, like a cornerback, not quarter, but You have to be able to run backwards and keep that space so your friend can chase you. He has to feel like he's chasing you. If this occurs, just kind of go backwards slowly. You're not doing it right, like a little cartoon or something. If your little hands are moving a mile a minute and your feet aren't going, that's not a straight blast. I see MMA guys who watch Victor Belfort, and you're fighting like this, and they start to blast from here to come in, okay? So, oh, I just want to go. That's why. But, so at the end of the day, almost every punch is a step. So go to blast. So I'll do it the wrong way. Okay, see how he's stifled? You're never going to want it or feel it or get athletic at it. I'll do it the right way. Okay? And I can't do it the right way as good as I want. Okay? But I would have liked to have had it even further. So I only need 3 punches. You don't need to blast the guy into the next zip code. Okay? Move around a little bit. Boom. Picture if you did a jab and a cross. Okay? But instead of coming with an elliptical, because you have a ring and you're considering space, you go jab, cross, jab. I'm happy with that. That's fine. You're meeting the criteria of forward pressure and going straight. Okay? So the first thing is, get your blast comfortable so I can see that it's athletic. And then we're going to mutate the blast into Tai Chi and about another 100 things. Okay? Let's give it a try. No, but time out!
That's what I want.
Have a seat real quick. My friend reminded me of something that I entirely forgot. A minor point. How do you do it right? I talked about the defense backing up properly, but I forgot to talk about the way to blast right. Okay, so what's the criteria for a straight blast? To do what?
Run them down.
Huh?
Run them down.
Okay. Huh? Forward pressure. Okay.
Occupy center line.
Occupy center line with forward pressure. Okay. The occupy center line. If you're doing it like this, boom, 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 that works. But if you're fighting another guy that's doing it like this, he's going to get in a little quicker. So it's like you can make your blast straight now if you know he's not a Wing Chun man. But if I know I'm fighting another Wing Chun man, we're in the center. So it's a little bit complicated. You can get in the weeds a little bit with it. I don't want to do that. Okay, so forward pressure is the criteria. Who does forward pressure best on planet Earth?
Sprinters. Sprinters.
Sprinters. And football players that are running. Sometimes if you're being chased, you're faster than a sprinter. You know. So, but sprinters off the line. That's it. Sprint. Okay. So why do a blast with a single foot forward? Can you imagine? You're fighting this big dude that slam dunks a basketball and he's real athletic. 6'3", ectomorph. And he's moving around like this, going, oh, motherfucker, boom, and you're going to go. And it's just, it doesn't apply to big, athletic, strong people. It applies to another Wing Chun man that's doing that. Okay? So what Bruce said was, Jesus, America's different. These dudes are big and they're athletic. And Dan Inosanto was a sprinter. So he and Dan together created a straight blast that is nothing more than a sprint right off the 50-yard dash. Okay? And you'll have 75% of Wing Chun men saying when you cross, your groin is open. Okay? I would respectfully say that if you do a straight blast, and that's all, your groin might be open. You're also open for a takedown, also open for a hook, also open for a shitload of other things. But if you do it the JKD way, bam, and you get an eye poke, you go bam and kick the balls, and then you blast, boom, he's hitting a boom, and he's going backwards. You can't even see your balls, let alone hit them. So the risk to reward ratio of that obsessive fear takes Wing Chun men down to a 2 in their athleticism because of the dogma of their art. And the art is beautiful and it's wonderful. Just tweak a few things. This isn't 1920. People get bigger and better and stronger and faster, and they learn different martial arts. And if you can't keep up, your art will be behind. Okay? So Bruce said we got to keep up with the, and this is Bruce saying this. So I want to do the sprinting you do, Dan. I go, so you and Bruce sprint? He goes, yeah. Now you know what I'm going to say, right?
Who's faster?
Well, who's faster? And he goes, the first 5 feet, he always beat me. And then I caught him after that. Consider the world record of Bob Hayes, 9-1, and Dan Inosanto, 9-3, and Bruce Lee beating him every time as a Wing Chun man. Okay? So the immense forward pressure that Bruce would come with these pipe-hitting forearms and this crazy grip. Okay? So forward pressure is everything. So everybody stand up, please. And jogging normal is everything. So give me a big circle. Okay, now follow me. Follow me. I'm jogging in a circle. And as you're following me, just kind of look at what I'm doing. Okay, now, as we jog, notice your hands just normally counterbalance. So just extend that counterbalance so it just becomes this normal thing. Just a normal thing. Now go back and run a little. Now come back and drop your hands and just be loose. Pick your hands up, sprint a little. Now give me. Yeah. That's it. All right, break. So if you could please be as natural as you always are, do nothing, think nothing, change nothing, be nothing. The more you try to get this hip up, try to run with your hip out. Try to be athletic with it. Okay? So at the end of the day, that's how you blast. So you blast me forward, and I'm running backward. That's it. Do you say anything wrong here? Do it again. Blast me forward. 3. See anything? What?
Elbows.
Elbows. Yeah, that's all. It was a great blast. Just put your elbows in. There you go, brother. Okay? So one side blast, one side go backward, chase at about 3 feet, stop, do about 10 in a row, let the other guy go. So I can let you guys have this thing like a dance. When the dance is proper, then I'm going to teach you the technique. Okay? So just to blast back and forth until you get a rapport. see how that's done? Now, you two go. You and your partner. Yeah. Now watch. 3. Did you see how that's done? You do it back to him. 3. Do you see a difference in this, not in the rapport of these gentlemen, not the blast, and the rapport of these? Did it look the same to you? Did it look the same? Did it look different?
Yes.
What was different?
This one.
It looked and appeared more aggressive, but it was just simply a footwork issue. Because when you're blasting me and I'm not going backwards enough, fast, that's almost the same as just blast me in the nose but don't hit. The don't hit part, okay, go ahead. But it's that goofy, awkward karate thing again, because you're not chasing. Now I want you to feel the difference when I run backwards. Blast me. Feel it? And I can see you almost stuttering because there's not a natural chase. Think of this. You just want to like a football player, going through the. Okay, so do it again to me. It's it. Like only give me 3 punches, and forget the punches. Just run right through me. And I have a hip issue, so not a hip. Just going. Which knee is it? Yeah, run. Sprint. Tell you what, right there, just sprint to me. Go. No, don't punch. Just let me put your head down and run. You're chasing your baby. Bang! That's the sprint I want. Go back there. Deserve yourself. Okay. Okay. Here you go. A little bit more. Okay. All right. That was the sprint I wanted. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. But only go about 3 feet when you do it. But see that chase? Bam! Okay? If you get caught up in the thing, you got to be able to feel that. There's nothing more important. I'm being obsessive because you'll never learn to think about this. Punch me and blast. He's already got me. You don't need to straight blast. Watch. Go, blast. Freeze. Just tight punch. Headbutt. Yeah, what the hell's a straight blast for? If he were blasting me properly, it would look like this. Bam, bam, bam. He can't reach with a tie clench. Okay? Because he's hitting my face chasing. And then, let me do it to you. And when I'm coming in, just be normal. Yeah. And when I'm coming in like that, sometimes I even have to leap a little jump. So there's this aggressive sprint leap. That's this athletic thing that can't look like, 2 people like this, okay? Play with it. This is the fun part of martial art. I love making things better. It's more fun than teaching new stuff. When Dan taught me this, I had the biggest smile. I finally learned how to blast. He said, you're not being athletic. Okay? All right, let's do it. You okay, bro? Let me see what. Now, one thing, please. Don't blast so long and hard. We're turning it into a bench press, and it's just a curl. Okay? So you only need 3 feet. Once you have the person going backwards, there's no reason to have them continue going backwards. Does this make sense? Backwards is backwards. If I throw you in a swimming pool, okay, you're screwed. You can't do anything. All right? So it's kind of like that. So the longer you extend the blast, the more things can happen. You can trip over a waitress, fall on a table, God almighty, and you didn't get to your killer shit because you're blasting too long and you should have ended it quicker. Okay? The first time I did a blast, I came back with Dan And he looks at my face, and I was 21st birthday. I got in a fight on my birthday in the bar. First bar fight. And I said, I did a straight blast. And it worked. And he goes, what happened? I go, nothing. It worked great. We were on a dance floor. And I just blasted this guy all the way to the end. He goes, well, if it worked so great, what happened to your face? And I said, well, it worked great. And then he kicked my ass. He was a big dude, and I blasted him right to the wall. And then he just grabbed my hair and crazy shit. And Dan goes, Paul, how many times have I told you, you don't win a fight with a straight blast? A straight blast prepares you to win. Why do you think we go into Thai boxing after the blast? Oh, okay. Check off another failure. Check off another loss. And then I can say to you guys, hey, dude, when you do the blast, do the headbutt and your elbow after. Because just the punches alone, they don't take somebody out. So the irony is this beautiful art with Wing Chun has this great blast, but they're going to fail to be able to take you out. They'll hit you a few times, and okay, so this is where Bruce Lee kicked in. And remember, Bruce Lee loved to grab the neck and do Thai boxing. Nobody got to see it. Bruce Lee fell in love with Thai boxing. Not a picture was taken, not a video was taken, and this was 180 days before the man passed away. And he was already, according to Dan, a consummate Thai boxer. Okay? And the big thing of to go from a blast to the Thai clinch was Bruce's thing, Dan's thing, my thing. Okay? And it's only because it works. Okay? It works. So that's the story on that. Your blast looks nice now. So now, blast. Maybe a little slower on this one. Okay? Don't go 20 feet, just a few. And then give me a little Tai Chi shove. Okay? And so this doesn't look like a crazy drill. Maybe we could all go that way. Okay? Question?
Yeah, so let's say in a scenario you're doing the straight blast. Don't usually the people fall down going backwards?
No.
They don't?
Well, they can. If you're going to fight a normal guy, lots of times this will occur. Blasting. Bam, 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 and they just fall to the ground. Okay? Have I ever mentioned a normal guy in my life fighting? Yeah. When I go to bed at night, I think of 6'8" Samoans.
But
I don't think of normal people.
If the guy was to fall, what would be your next to you?
Kick him in the face over and over.
Okay.
Yeah, just like in Pride.
Okay.
Do you remember Pride?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stomps and
All the fancy shit in the world, and when a man's standing and a man's on the ground, you have better footwork on the ground standing than he does there, and you can negotiate your way into kicking the snot out of him.
I was scared.
Oh, no, it's a great question, bro. High five for the question. Okay? Anybody else? Let's do it. Something I learned over the years. Just give you a little pointer, okay? When you're blasting, and he's going here, just 1 nanosecond stopping blasting, watch me. Somebody's blasting me and I'm falling backwards, and he stops just for a second. I got my bait. Just for a second. So if I blast, and I go, whoa, and I try to do my Tai Chi, and it's like something like that, ain't gonna work. You can't get set up and scratch your butt and get all ready thinking you got all this time. Okay? So the secret is the last hand that was out glues and push. So watch. Bam, 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 bam. And the most important thing is this. Watch my push. Forget the Tai Chi part. I'll do it the right way and the wrong way. Run backwards. That's the wrong way. Kind of stopped, and then I did the Tai Chi push. Run backwards. So while he's running, while I'm running backwards, you push. Do it. Feel it. You're running backward, and while you're on your step here, he does it. Not when both feet are planted. So you don't have to watch, but just boom. So borrow that moment to just plant it and hit. Do, pa. Do, pa. Over and over again. Questions? We're going to move on. You want to push somebody? Tai Chi. Tai Chi is actually a violent art. When they shove, they're trying to shove you into walls. Back in the old days, they would train their Tai Chi indoors. Walls would be padded. And it would look like a grappling art almost. Almost like a Greco-Roman sumo violent grappling art. Nobody watched them in there. And then when they were done training, they'd come out and cool down. And they would do this. People say, what are you doing? Tai Chi. Okay? It's a violent art. Okay, so sometimes when he's going backwards, he'll give you something. Okay? And when you're going this way, you might want to grab it and pull him back that way. I don't know the dynamics of the situation of where you are, but I can assure you that if all UFC fights were fought in a bar from now on, no bottles or anything to throw, just the trajectory of leaping over the bar, avoiding things, people, okay, would require that their agility is twice as much. They can't just tackle with impunity and slam their legs on the ground, okay? I have a dummy that can beat everybody here. Swear to God, and it'll beat all of you. If I put the dummy up and I hung it from a tree, and there's cement under it, a weak rope, and I say, take that dummy, charge it, and take that down the ground, just like you would a man. You're gonna charge that dummy, oh, and your knees are going. My friend Renzo Gracie, same thing. Got in a fight out in New York. So many people. You take a man to the ground, the way you watch UFC people do it, they're going to blow out their knee every time on the ground. Next guy would get up, boom, It'd be like, dummy, 29. Humanity, 0. Okay? Just by virtue of pulling the technique off properly.
Are you saying because their knees hit the ground?
That's correct. The next UFC fight you watch what hits the ground first on most takedowns. Now, if you do this kind of Gracie takedown because they're intimately aware of that, and they're not fighting some UFC guy that's been doing takedown defense 8 hours a day, but 99.999% of people, they don't do that shit, and you can just be just boom, 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 just that simple. Just boom, just run in and grab the ball. Clinching is easy. Look at Gracie in action 1. Just look how easy it is. You can clinch, or we can clinch and trap it, okay? But the clinch that street fighters use, the clinch that I was taught to take somebody to the ground, is a street fighting clinch. And that clinch is, pretty soon people want to get better and better and better at ground fighting. So then they go, how do we take them to the ground better? So a lot of people in Brazil go, well, Western wrestling is great. That's their thing, taking people to the ground, shooting double leg, single leg, the whole thing. So then they broach off and they integrate Western wrestling for takedowns. So as the UFC grows and grows and grows, people get better and better and better at takedowns. They get takedown and they can leap and, there's so many different types. But all those fancy takedowns, okay, in a street fight, aren't gonna work. You're gonna hurt yourself. when Hoist went back to Brazil to vacation, 1 year after the UFC where he beat everybody, the day he was back to Brazil, he says to me, Paul, it was fucking crazy. All of my friends wanted to challenge me now to beat the champion. And I go, really? They weren't very close friends. I know. And I hear I got 20 people coming up to me, and they all got fucking knee pads on. Excuse me, knee pads. Everybody wears knee pads, you know, for the street fight. Okay. And so even when jiu-jitsu folks do it properly, you end up doing that sometimes. So you have to be so aware of these things. Okay? All right. Can I borrow you? So let's say I'm blasting and you're going backwards and you give me an arm or something. Boom. Now I take this arm and I just swing it into the next something. So what we do when we grab an arm, okay, whichever it is, and this is the inside version. If you take this, if you try to do this, if you just go, don't just go fighting with this. This is not going to work. Okay, now obviously pull your headbutt before you do it, but let's just say you didn't want to headbutt the guy. Okay, but if I just simply take a step at this angle and pull this way, it's just so effortless. So it kind of looks like you're blasting and you just go, boom, or you're blasting and you get an obstruction and you go, boom. You might do it to me. Blast, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, now pull. Yes, that's it. Or maybe do it again. Grab my head now, and now pull. Yeah. Or maybe grab my forearm here and push. So blast first. Boom, boom, boom. Yes, but see how he stopped his blast and then pushed? Watch, go backwards, go. Put up an arm. Keep it going. You know what I mean? Keep, as soon as that arm goes, bite it. So you're either gonna grab an arm, and we know all the basic Duma. Pull, pull, push. I'm not gonna mess with the forearm stuff. That's too intricate. I want to type it and stuff. Okay, so your mission, go from a straight blast to Tai Chi, and then go from a straight blast to Duma. Okay, kids, let's give it a try, please.
So it's could be on the adjusted question. Yeah.
Now, if I'm blasting, you're going backward. Everybody pay attention, it's real important. And you give me an arm after I blast you. And the arm is here. Don't go to the back, go to the front. If I go this way, she has base, she can follow. If I just step to here and go this way, it's really crazy. Now you do that to me. So you're blasting. I put up an arm. Which way are you going? Yeah. Yes. Now, did you see what she did? Everybody does this. She did 2 curls. Okay. This time, when you do it, lock your arm out. Okay, and use centrifugal force instead of strength. Let me borrow you for a minute. No, I'll give that to her. Okay. Okay. So when you're here, it's not going to be so. But all I do, watch, is I just step and I use the strength, the centrifugal force. You can feel him starting to move, and you keep it in a circle, and it will pick up. Okay, so it's, and he's already bam, 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 and then you grab it. And I can't be violent right now, the way I like, but so cut in. So when I go here, I cut this way, and that hand is not going to hit me or hurt me. Okay, so when you grab an arm, cut to the inside. Don't cut to their back. Yeah, good. Look at this right here, free. If I were in a situation, this is just boom. It's just there. I would have done that if this were here. If this wasn't here, it might have been boom, boom, see you later, alligator. You know, who knows? But you have to have your core of how to fight. That's your rat. And that's the hub of the wheel. And then you have to have a spoke for every situation that you have to alter that. Because no one thing works all the time. You're not being like water. So you don't know if you're going to go from a blast to Tai Chi, a blast to a ground fight, a blast. Now, when I'm training SEAL Team 6, what makes the most sense out of the blast?
Headbutt in the elbow.
Headbutt, knee, and elbows. Obviously. That's how you really hurt somebody. Okay? So I took all the other stuff away. I didn't show them all that other shit. So we went destruction, straight blast, headbutt, knee, and elbow, and then they called it rapid assault tactics. I'm like, what the fuck? Why do you guys have to name everything? And then it's rat. And now they got another metaphor to add to their panoply of metaphors that make me crazy. So, but that's how they did it. Okay? So you have the option. If you're going to be the average guy, you're done. Okay? If it's a big guy, you might want to have to do something nasty. Swing him into a pool, a swimming pool. 55-mile-an-hour car. Okay? Or maybe when he's running backwards, that's when the chair comes over the head. But to conflate the violence of the street fight with the art, and to make the art athletic, to take away the things that don't work, to add the things that do work, and just scan the planet for all this, and not miss any country. This process has been done by Bruce, Dan, and myself. The last thing we added in was Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Nothing else is going into this art. We're done. We're not going to fly to the moon and come up with fooling you, some new martial art to add in to improve Jeet Kune Do. We're done. 25 years has gone by. We haven't added another thing in terms of martial art. Okay? I like to think of that as a deep contribution I had was bringing the Gracies and the Inosanos together. Okay? Bitchin'. Any questions? All right, give me another 5 minutes and we're going to go to another art. Thank you. Because we see a visceral response when people blast, and that art was screaming out at us. Okay? All right, so let's say I'm blasting, and this time you just turn. Just turn, yeah. Boom, that's the shot. It's just that simple. So you blast me, please. Some guys are going to do that. Blast me. Boom, boom, boom. Some guys are going to do that. Most guys, though, most guys, if you get a clean blast in, they do this. They roll over their shoulder and get their head out of the way, screaming, thigh kick me, please, or knee, okay? So when you go there, that's your key, grasshopper, okay? Boom! That's your shot. Borrowing, Panamjapman. Thai boxers knee the stomach a lot. They like to knee the face. Panamjapman like to knee the thigh. Okay? Any questions? Do it. Question?
When you're hitting him, are you holding him with like a tie clinch, or
No.
you just kicking him?
No. Watch. If I go like this, he doesn't have to do anything. And sometimes they're big and you can't even get up there. he's that much bigger than me, and I'm blasting him up in the air, and he rolls over that shoulder. I don't see anything. Okay, so that's when that has to come in. Alrighty. Okay, a little too close. So when you're going here, it's a little too big. So as you see him starting to roll, you're gonna get up to here. Boom.
Okay.
Hey guys, question was, as you're blasting and he rolls, if he's a little too far for the knee. So it rolls out like this. If it's in this range, it's a knee. If it's in this range, it's a shin. And if it's in this range, it's a foot. And how far you'll end up when he does that roll is predicated on how big he is. If he takes a big step and rolls like this, okay, that can separate you.
When you say a foot, are you talking like savate kick? Or are you talking about?
When I say a foot, I mean your instep kick. I can't do the kick, but you're instep kicking his thigh. Just a regular old kick. Okay? Yeah. So this hurts the most. This hurts the second most. And that hurts the least most. But that can still take you out. But it's not your option to go which is the most. Your option to go is which is appropriate according to the range. I just thought I'd throw that other info in. Okay, anybody else? Cool. I hope this doesn't bore you. Okay? Because I'm giving you this out of my heart because this is what, you guys seem like this is a cool group. And I could get into goofy shit, fancy stuff, and pull out traps, compound traps, but this is real street fighting stuff. And we haven't really gotten into the meat yet, but I want to build it properly. By the end of the day, you guys are going to have that straight pass down pat. Okay? Just don't forget to ask questions, please. All right, let's go. Shotgun mouth and a BB gun ass, okay? And then they get hit a few times, okay? Bam, bam, bam. And they got the sprint down pat. So all of a sudden, you're looking at their back, okay? Well, that knee and the thigh, you can double the pain in the coccyx, that bone right here. If you ever ice skated and fell on your butt, hit that bone? I did that once. I literally almost passed out on the ice. So he's punching, bam, bam, boom, boom, and that's that knee. Okay, that's the big knee. Richard Bustolo used to say, you just hit him with a right cross to the back. You'll hear that, and the air comes out. So if I'm blasting and you spin, just boom in the back. It can be, the thing is to react as soon as you see the back. What the technique is not as important. You can punch him in the back of the head. Okay, knee him in the coccyx. Okay, you can do something as simple as this. Turn right. Okay, the key is you need to make sure that you make your assault as he turns, because once he turns and runs, you're behind the 8 ball. Got me? Give me all my shit in one day. It's 30 years, you guys. No, I'm just kidding. All right, let's go. Clap. Now look at me. Now, about to run backwards. When I turn and run backwards, and I take my first step backwards, clap. I didn't land on the ground, gentlemen, ladies. Wait till I land. Okay? Now this time, I'm going to do the same move. When I start to do it, clap. Stop. Oh, you were cheating. Okay? And you got to ascertain what's the first thing that you're going to see when I spin.
Turn your head.
Of course. So if I see somebody starting to do this, I'm not going to wait until that head turns all the way around to arm my technique and shoot it. Making sense?
Yeah.
So now you're blasting me, okay, but don't. And when I go backwards, when I start to go backwards, clap. A little late. Okay, that's it. That's it. It's those kind of reflexes. Chai grabbed my neck, and I just, every time he'd grab it, he'd yank it down with his crazy strength and put me in this washing machine and knee me in the face 1,000 times. And I'd say, you know, and I love him, we'd hug, you know, go out to dinner and everything, babysit his kids, everything. But it's like, you gotta teach me how you do this all the time. How the heck, you're 140 pounds soaking wet. He goes, reaction is too slow, reaction is too slow. I think I told you this yesterday. You have to be like Venus flytrap, okay? So while I'm talking, if I grab that, reaction's too slow, okay? So if I start to grab, pull back. Now I don't have anything. He didn't just get 10 times stronger. He just reacted sooner. If this is at 0 and you get a pull, you've got nothing. But if you see he's going to do it and you already start the energy that way, so that split second Wing Chun Kali reaction time is imperative. So you're blasting as soon as you see him do something. Gee, be on it. Okay? Who saw Vitor Belfort? Picture Vitor doing that blast on you. All those people that are saying, wow, technically, when he comes in, I can zone off to 32 degrees and pivot. And if you zone to 0 pressure, yeah, have you ever had this done to you? Have you ever had Dan in the sauna in front of you? You can pontificate all day long. When I was showing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to planet Earth and to America, and they're all like, oh my God, Vunak's lost his mind now. He's lying on the back and putting grown men between his legs, okay? And I'm showing the guard, and people are saying, you can't fight from down there. Are you nuts? Your groin is open, blah, 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 blah. It's the armchair generals that never got in and really experienced it. Everything can be countered. That includes the rat, anything. But you counter it through athleticism. There's no magic technique that does it, okay? So if you're gonna athletically get out of the way of a blast to where he's missing you, then you've, for a moment in time, countered that blast, okay? So the questions we're getting online, first of all, let me address that first. What if you're in the receiving end of a straight blast? What do you do? Okay, so let me get into how you counter a blast. You counter a blast by not letting him hit you first real hard somewhere. That's where the pain begins. Your inertia in the depths of hell, okay, begin from that first kick, okay, or that first punch. And if it's in an asymmetrical place, you're not going to counter anything, okay? So you keep your center line safe, and you're in kickboxing range, and you know that blast is going to come after something. So that's number one. Is try not to get hit in the beginning. And then you relegate this man to blasting you not using a progressive indirect attack. They're not going bam, bam, brrr. They're not hitting low, punching high. But they're just blasting you. Okay, so don't get hit. The second one is, if you see the blast coming, that means, number one, he did it wrong.
Yeah.
If you see the blast coming and you say, as it comes here, I'll zone here, he did it wrong. As it comes here, I'll go under, he did it wrong. The blast has to do this. Picture we're sparring and I get a quick shot in the ball, boom, and then the blast begins. Watch my face. Boom, 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 boom. And I'm up in the air. Your face is getting pummeled, you're blinking, you're bleeding, your nose is like spitting out blood. Picture, again, Vitor Belfort. Don't think of some, and so whose art is better. Picture just blasting down your center line. Okay? So the moral to the story is, if the guy does it wrong, you can counter it. If the person doesn't do it wrong, there's no counter. It's like a rear naked choke. What do you do with a rear naked choke? What's the first counter to a rear naked choke?
Get to your back.
Huh?
Get to your back. Protect the neck. Protecting the chin.
Protecting your chin?
Your neck.
Your neck. No. First counter to rear naked blast.
They sink it in it? Is that what you're saying?
Huh? First counter to somebody choking you. The very first counter, anybody?
Their arm.
No. The perfect, I should just go to you first. With everything, literally all day yesterday. Okay? Just don't, no, it's the counter. How do you do a rear naked choke from the front? Okay? So number one is don't let them take your back. If they have your back, what's the second counter?
Chin down.
Huh?
Chin down.
No.
Stay back.
Huh?
Stay down off your back.
No, they're already on your back. Don't let them get the hooks in. You can scoot out when somebody gets to your back, but when the hooks are in, that's when you're screwed. So he's got to take the back and secure both hooks. Now he's got the back and he's got both hooks in, and you're in the struggle zone. Now your first counter is, your third counter is, don't let the first hand in. Counter the first hand, okay? So you're here. I've done all the other counters. Now go ahead. I'm trying to counter the first hand, okay? But let's say the first hand gets in now. Now I got to go to the second thing. What do I do when the first hand's in? To the first arm. Huh?
Hold his arms.
Don't let the second arm go.
Exactly. The answer to the first arm, nothing. Squeeze me with all your might. All your might. Okay, so we can do this forever. And I even did it the hard way. If I went this way, it would have been harder. Okay? So nobody's going to choke you with one arm. Don't mess with it. So first you don't let them have your back. Then you don't let them have the hook. Then you don't let them have the first arm in. Well, let's say he gets all three of the things you didn't want. You still haven't lost to finish your choke. Now you got to fight for the second arm. You got that under your armpit. Now you can turn and breathe a little bit, and you're completely safe. So the counter to the rear naked choke is a myriad of things that have to happen. There's not one counter to anything. And if he takes your back, and then if he gets the hooks, and then if he gets the first arm in, then you can still, your last. But let's say now he gets that in. He's already taken my back, got in the hooks, got in the first arm. I'm fishing for the second arm. I miss it. And then choke me. So, can the rear naked choke be countered? Yes or no? Yeah, I just showed 8 counters. Right? Right? Okay. Now, what happens if...
Are we here already?
Okay, so, but what happens is... I'll interrupt you. I'll say, I didn't hear what you said. But what happens is, let's say he threw a punch at me or something, and then he secures it. Go. Now, can the rear naked choke be countered? No. I am beyond the point of no return. Maybe there's black belts that can fish around back here and breathe and do magical shit, but 99 out of 100, I know there are because I couldn't choke Hickson. It was amazing what he could do. Tell you what, put your choke in him. I'm full. 100%. Okay, you could choke him forever because he had this amazing way of breathing with his diaphragm. Okay, but we're not at that level. Okay, so for normal people that don't do shit like that, okay, once they sink it in, especially if he's a big, strong guy, you're out. So now this is my very long answer to the straight blast. If you're already getting hit, if your nose is getting pummeled, and you're already going backwards, guess where you are in the rear naked choke world? He's already taken your back, put in the hooks, got his first arm in, got his second arm in, and he's already whispering in your ear, like Hickson used to say to me, "This is what it feels like to die." Fuck, I hate it. But, okay, so the blast, you have to counter before, and the only way you're going to counter it before it is if he screws something up. I would have never countered his hooks if he didn't screw something up. He should have put this in properly. So this guy's got to make some sort of mistake or not do it impeccably for counters to happen, okay? So I'm sorry to say, once you're getting hit by the blast, there's no counter, okay? There's no counter. Now, here's the second part. What we found when we're chasing people is, if you get a guy that's super athletic, super ectomorph, and he's running and he does zigzag a little bit, and you see him moving, you don't want to chase him like this. Where are you going, you fucker? I'll find you. Okay? Because it's too slow. Okay? Come here for me. So let's go ultra slow motion, and let's say I'm blasting you, and you're going ultra slow and going backwards. Bam, bam. Now zigzag out of the way. Here's what happens usually. If that occurs, in slow motion, I can look like Bruce Lee. I'll follow you to Brazil and back. Where are you going under here? But in reality, okay, go back, run backwards and cut quick. Okay, go, okay. What I want you to do when you run backwards is zigzag out of the way. Go. Boom. I'm going to lose that. You follow me? So watch what my hand does. Go, keep on. Zigzag. Go back, go sideways. Do you understand this? My hand, if you go to any angle beyond straight, I don't chase you with my center line.
You cut the corner.
I just cut the corner. I cut the corner. Do you have any idea how powerful that is? Do you know how long I chase people? Do you know how many times I've had troubles doing that? Do you know how many times Inosanto watched me screw up, but he knew I wasn't ready for that technique yet? And after a year and a half effing it up, he goes, "All right, now I'll show you how to do it right." Okay? All right, so on this one, we're going to chase. I don't want to add any more arts. We're going to chase, boom, bam. Okay? Stay alert, stay on your feet, be athletic. Keep your normal stuff, but just add a little of this to it. Okay, and the other guy, zigzag out of the way. Do it. Hey guys, I forgot to tell you, when I was explaining to him, I reminded myself. When you're blasting and you do this cut, watch my head. Don't do that. You've lost it again. Your head follows your hand. Boom. You gotta be bam. You got to know where that goal line is, know where that bucket is. You have to have this instinctive athletic feel, and you got to take the martial art energy and give it a big kick and put athleticism in and use martial art techniques. And if there's any techniques that have you doing goofy shit, throw them out. It's no harmonic art. Bruce used to say, I don't care where I get, I don't care who I piss off. I just want to win. Okay? Let's do it. move into that. Two MMA eyes. The straight blast, okay? To say, how could we get a straight blast to work in the confines of the MMA when you're dealing with this insane athleticism, with absolute enough endurance, with impunity, okay? So how do we make it work? And making the straight blast work is a part of the athleticism that you have, okay? So what Dan would do with us is he would have different drills to help us with the athleticism, okay? And normally out of these drills, I don't know why this is, but when you fake, you become more athletic. It's been something I've been trying to figure out my whole life. I'll give you an example. You see everybody boxing, bam, 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 boom, boom, bam, boom, bam, boom, and they're punching, and he's punching, and you're punching. Okay, we're doing attack by combination, we're boxing well. How would you improve that? Or kickboxing? You would be moving around a minute until, boom, throw a fake. Fake up, boom, then go low. Don't just always jab, cross. Oh, he hit you, you hit him, he hit you, you hit him. Boom, throw a fake. So when you're moving around, you throw a fake and then you do something. I don't know why. But the progressive indirect attack energy brings out the athleticism. It is what it is. So now that we're talking MMA, stand up, please. Okay? And I'm blasting you. Okay, you just kind of run back me up. Okay, but you're an MMA guy, so when I go down to tackle you, let's say I did it wrong. I wasn't hitting his face properly, and I chose to bust the move out, and he can still counter me. Okay? Just go down and, go to tackle me. Tackle me to the ground. Bam. Yeah. Just go down and give me that. Okay, ready? So I'm coming to you. Bam, bam, yeah, that. See that? Okay, now move around a little bit. Okay, so we have that in mind. You're an MMA guy. And I'm blasting, and I'm gonna fake that. And I'm gonna do it to you. Okay. And I'm gonna fake it. Okay? So I'm gonna come to you, and you don't want me to take you down. So no, let me do that. Okay? So do the pick up the baby. Yeah, I want to do it quicker because yeah. All right, now he's where I want him to be. So when I do this move, he's an MMA guy. So we're moving around, boom, boom. I do a little fake, boom. Yeah, see that? That's it. Keep moving. That's what, boom, boom, boom. So as I blast and you go backwards and I fake, yes, that's when I need, okay? So imagine you're an MMA guy blasting and I'll fake down low. I don't want that. Okay? So if you put the fake in, I'll have you do this to me because I'm reacting the way I need you to react. So when you straight blast me, fake you're going to come low and then knee me in the face.
But don't knee me in the face.
He didn't learn that part. Who did? Where's it go? So you watch it. Happens real quick. Bang, bang. This time hit them. Okay? So when you go to fake and you block that, look what's that. Boom! When I go to fake and you block that, boom! So when you're blasting and he's seeing you, throw a fake in. So here's your move. Fake. Boom. Fake. Boom. All right? Let's do it. to shoot to another art out of the blast, okay? But because we don't train it properly, it's just not there. When you're blasting, you need to be able to blast to boxing, back to blasting, blast to Tai Chi, back to blasting. Think of the blast as the consistent bass line in a song. And throughout the whole song, that bass line never changes, okay? But past that bass line of the straight blast, the music happens over here. A horn comes in, a guitar comes in, piano comes in, okay? Each one of these instruments that come in, they're complementing the bass line. They come in because of the way this bass line is pumping, or the drummer's pumping, okay? This is our bass line. This is the hub. I'm not talking about a mass attack. I'm not talking about ground fighting. I'm not talking about weapons. There's a shitload of fights this doesn't apply to. But one-on-one, adding this to your mixture and becoming, and the other thing about a straight blast is, let's say you know 100 techniques and straight blast now is 101. You have an hour to train. Let's say you have 101 minutes to train. So you apply 1 minute per technique. Do you think the straight blast deserves more than a minute a day? Okay, but that's what people do. They have 100 techniques and they don't know where's the shit and where's the backup stuff and then where's the secondary backup. They have locks in jiu-jitsu that require crazy things where you'll hear Joe Rogan goes, "It was a shmalagushka. We've never seen that since 19, okay? And because the shmalagushka, okay, doesn't happen all the time. So do you think jiu-jitsu people spend as much time on a rear naked choke as a shmalagushka? Okay, and that's just because, so jiu-jitsu, we know what we're gonna go for. You know, the myriad of ways to go for the arm, the leg, the check, the combination, okay? So if your straight blast is the thing, that should be 90% of what you do. Everything out of the blast. If you want to do this out of sparring, you have to do it out of sparring. That's the secret. Can't separate it over here. All right, so with all that said, you're going to put in all your time and effort. You understand that the straight blast flows and it mutates into different things like water. Okay, so now the mutation is going to be an overhand, a good old overhand. I don't need to say right or left. We're straight blasting. We change lead every nanosecond. Okay. Why am I using these? Because these are the ones we found that work. There's 1,000 techniques. I'm giving you guys the stuff that I know works. Okay, so say I'm blasting you. Borrow your piece. Bam, bam, bam. Give me a shoulder roll of some sort. Boom. So when you're training, it's just from a blast or bam, just an overhand. Okay. If I'm boxing, say, give me a shoulder roll to this cross. Boom. So we're moving around. Boom. Boom. Oh. Overhand. Okay. So the trajectory comes from a place that's difficult to see. So you're blasting, blasting, blasting. Bam. Overhand. Right back to your blast. So we don't know if you're going to mutate into that or that or that or that. Okay? You could mutate, and I could put on here wrist lock. Okay? How often do you think that shit would ever happen? Do you think I would add that to my beloved list? See what I mean? So this list, we're not just pulling things out of our rear end for ideological or whatever kind of reasons. This comes from the what we're doing is, this is what works. Do these things. When he does this, you do that. From years and years and years, thousands and thousands and thousands of hours doing the blast. You can imagine how I feel when I go online and I hear the kids talking about my blast is better than yours. We have 11, you have 4. If you do this, then that's better than this. It's it's sad. Because they don't have the facts. They don't have the law on their side, so they're just arguing to argue out of anger. Okay? All right, so not only I want you to add this, I want you to put it all together. Sometimes do a Tai Chi, sometimes an overhand. Okay? Just put it all together now. And each one you should be chasing. You don't have to go fast, but you keep that distance. All right, let's go. advantage of this question. It's blasphemous true in the series, Paul. It hurts somebody. When's it justifiable, bro? Okay? There is no word that's justifiable in my vernacular. Okay? Justifiable is a moot point. Why? Why? I'm the guy preaching love, spirituality, don't argue, don't fight. Huh?
Violence is violence.
No.
No.
Yesterday, why did I say I would fight?
Protect your family.
Where's justifiable come in? You're raping my child, you're attacking my wife, and we're going to discuss justifiable? So if you have that, I mean, it does, but I'm giving you a different kind of gaunty look at it. And that is, you don't have to ever worry about justifiable. Let me tell you when you do have to worry about justifiable. You're out to Vegas, you're in line, Pedro's in line, and somebody bumps right into Liz, cuts her off, get out of the way, something like that. My Puerto Rican partner over there has got beans and steam coming out of his ears, okay? And he could simply say to me, you know, ooh, I'm gonna fucking kill this guy, man. I think it's justified, okay? I would say, bro, let it ride. It was an accident. Let him be an asshole and let's go. Or let Liz slap him. She'll probably kick his ass, okay? But the point is, I'm saying, you never fight, even when you want to fight. Even who could, he wanted to fight. He didn't though. He comes home the next day, you have a food. Get that shit feeling in my stomach. You know, sometimes you go, God damn, I should have kicked that fucker's ass, but I'm glad I didn't. I'm not in jail, everything's cool, okay? So there's no justifiable. That is BS. We only fight for our family, and would any court say, would any judge ever ask this question under the auspices of the law-abiding citizen, under that whole thing, okay? So somebody came in the house, two guys. One guy took the child and did terrible things. The other guy fought the husband, okay? Now the judge is listening to this. Do you think anybody in the court would say, was that justifiable? Of course not. The obviousness doesn't even, you wouldn't bring that point up. So if you are so strong on this element in your heart, you ain't getting my energy over this. And I don't know why this is, and this is weird, and you can chalk this up as shit, I just don't know. But when you turn down fights that are stupid, you become more military. You become more serious. Okay? 1 year after I quit drinking, and I was a moody, pissed off guy. If you looked at me cross-eyed, okay? The year is 2002. I will never forget this. And I'm driving down the street, looking at everybody. This guy cuts me off. Boom, we have a little fender bender thing. He gets out of the car. I'm trying to get a morphology that's about right. A little bit bigger than you. A little bit bigger than you, okay? You effing idiot. I'm going to do this. Look what you did, blah, blah, blah. You know, and I'm about to step into my world of Vunak, okay? I get out of the car, and I'm like, okay, good. At least he's not going to beat me up. He's a small guy, okay? I look in the passenger side, and I see this kid in a rocket seat. And his dad approaches me, and he starts to throw some haymaker goofy shit, okay? And this kid's eyes look like saucers. Never forget the look. Apoplectic. He didn't know what he was. He was a scared little child, confused. And this thing, and all of a sudden, for the first time, they say everything goes in slow motion. That's never happened to me in every fight I've ever been. Shit, don't go in slow motion. This went in slow motion. And I said, there's no way I'm going to give this man my wrath in front of this kid. It's an easy day. I took a few punches. All right, leave me alone. And I got back in the car and I drove off. That day, I became a real killer. And I don't mean that in a pejorative sense of mean. I mean somebody that is capable. A murderer is one thing. A military person, their mission is to kill. And when you understand how to differentiate a real fight from all that bullshit, then you will never, in the samurai days, they never drew their sword unless they used it. And if they had to draw their sword to clean it, I don't know, they had to cut themselves. It's a samurai way. You don't get shit from beating somebody up who flipped you off. You walk away, okay? So I'm done preaching on that. And this is not about scruples or morality or religion. This is about winning a fight, okay? Plus, it really does feel good to do the right thing. I'm sure somebody appreciates it, okay? Any questions? Then there's only one thing to do. Big Mac. Lunchtime. Thank you. And we're going to get into something different. Okay? So any final questions on that? Okay. First, I had a talk with Dan in Asana. Okay? And I decided that I'm gonna give the last piece to the puzzle of my art. And this is a piece that I have kept for myself. Okay? And this piece has to do not with the techniques of asymmetrical violence, but this has to do, this puzzle, is with how do you train it to get good at it. Okay? So we're going to functionalize biting and eye gouging. We're going to functionalize kinemutai. So take a breath on that notion. So I want you to imagine something. Imagine that you have been doing jiu-jitsu for 10 years. I'm your teacher. I have taught you everything one would know in the art of jiu-jitsu for 10 years, with one caveat. All of the offense, arm locks, chokes, all the offense, I have also taught you, but we do it over here. So I will say, okay, come on in, let's train, and here's a technique of an arm lock, and you do a technique on me. And here's the technique of a collar choke. So he knows every single technique that you can know. But I just say, now when you wrestle, I don't want you to do those techniques out of wrestling. You know, like when you're really fighting or something. So just know them over here, because they're too deadly to do if you really try to do them. Okay? So just know them. And then get on with your wrestling. So let's say he's wrestled for 10 years. How will he be at passing the guard?
Yeah.
Why?
You didn't never done it in real time.
No, you missed the point. The only thing he hasn't done in real time is offense.
So passing a guard he'd be good at.
Okay, of course.
Yeah.
He'd be good at anything. The only thing he's not going to be good at, okay, so let's say me and you do jiu-jitsu. We're rolling, I pass the guard, I mount you, you oop on me. But the only thing is we just don't do any offense. You will be a black belt in jiu-jitsu minus the offense. It's just that simple. You'll know passing the guard, you'll know the mount, you know. Now, but meanwhile, you also know every single technique that he knows, who's also been training for 10 years. But every technique you've done, the way Brazilians do it, is we do the techniques out of combat. You learn an arm lock and then you try to do it while you're wrestling. That's called functionalizing. Imagine that, and now imagine trying to do your techniques. So I say you and he wrestle. You might keep up with him, pass the guard and do this and do that, but you will never make him tap. Has he ever gotten functional with any of the techniques? No. The offensive techniques? No. Because he didn't functionalize those. He learned them inside and out, but he never did them while he was sparring. They were too deadly or something, whatever reason. But over here, he's functionalized passing the guard and mounting and everything. because he's done that against a resisting opponent and he's functionalized it. Well, I just explained to you my art. That's Kinamutai. I call it my art. It's not my art. It's Filipino art. But our version of asymmetrical violence, okay, everybody knows them. You look at the Kinamutai tape and you know there's a bite flow and I go from here to here to here to here to here. Do you think that makes you able to bite somebody while he's trying to arm lock you and choke you and fight you and you're rolling and he's rolling? And this magic pixie dust will give you the ability to functionalize it? Okay? Is there anybody that doesn't quite understand that point you want me to expound? Do you get what I mean? Because this is the center line of everything I'm about to teach for the next 3 years. I have one black belt in this art, and that's Pedro Rodriguez. He and I have been doing this together, okay? I have taken my Kinamutai art and given it the belt system of who? Who do you think? Jiu-Jitsu, my friend. Why do I like Jiu-Jitsu's belt system? Why do I think in my heart that a black belt from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu has the most legitimate black belt? Whoever you are, from any other art. Anybody know? Huh? They functionalize it. Everything that Jiu-Jitsu does, you do it while you're fighting. There is no, I'll do this and then I'll do that and magic will happen when we put them together shit. This is why at the Kali Academy, when I was doing trapping, I couldn't ever get it. Because I used to train with Dan all the time. Period. I put more time in with that man. And all my traps I learned while we were sparring. And he's blasting me and trapping me and kicking me and I'm getting out of the way. But then when he would teach class, because it's a giant group class, and you can't just you can't spar with everybody, it lines up. So now we're gonna pop sound, we're gonna lop sound, we're gonna double pop, we're gonna do whatever. Y'all done good. Okay, now go glove up. Now let's kickbox. And then now these are some mean, bad, big dudes. But I didn't see anybody doing the trapping out of the kickboxing. Now, I wasn't some genius that was the only one to get this nuance that was the most important thing in combat, okay? Because I was smarter than anyone else. I was lucky because I sparred with Dan. It's just that easy. I'm a very simple-minded guy, okay? And I just went, well, fuck. Why don't we do it the way? So that's what I've always done. So when I sparred in class, I did it when I didn't hit them and I took my gloves off and I trapped people while they were beating me up. And that was my motif. That's what I did. Why? I want to functionalize the trapping. Well, we're going to functionalize Kinamutai. And it's not going to be easy. And it's going to be just as complicated as Jiu-Jitsu. You can be doing an arm lock for 8 years and I can see all these black belts come to our school. Black belts, the belt looks white, it's so faded. And they come in from Brazil and everything. And then Hickson walks out. And then you hear a pin drop. And then he talks about, pick anything, an arm lock, okay? And then he gets on the ground and he starts doing stuff. And you see them all like this. And I'm looking at these kids. They all speak Portuguese, so I'm just using intuition. And thinking to myself, these guys have been doing arm locks since they were coming out of a womb. They have gis this big in Brazil. And when Hickson talks about an arm lock, they look like they're watching a strip club or something. Okay? And Hickson would say, when you put the arm like this, and you hold the base, he's going to flop up and down. How do you do the arm lock when your feet flop? Most important is to hold the base. If you hold the base tight in the beginning, it will not work. So you hold the base loose and you follow his breathing. You will feel. And when he exhales, then you tighten your base. I'm like, I would get chills. And he would do it to me. And I'm trying to get out. I'm trying to get out. And he's not heavy on me. He's just riding me. He's just riding me. You're like, oh, you want to talk panic? And then when you see the panic in his eyes, he's more worried about his breath than defending his arm. Now you don't do here. And these guys are like, so what am I trying to say? If you want to functionalize something, you gotta go into detail. And you gotta work it, and you gotta work it against it. And our mission in life is to functionalize asymmetrical violence and do it out of Thai boxing, Wing Chun, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Kali. End of friggin' conversation. I could walk out now, that's the art, okay? So if we're gonna get it, we're gonna get it right, okay? All right, so any questions up till now, okay? I wanna start off with what I feel is the most important thing, and that was the first thing we did, the eye jab, okay? But I want to talk about functionalizing the eye jab, not just doing it, functionalizing it. And then from the eye, well, we're going to get you to the ground, and I want you to know the first thing of this art of Kina Muay Thai, it is not alone. Write this down. Kina Muay Thai does not exist alone. Our Kina Muay Thai exists in a storm of elbows, knees, headbutts, and punches. You don't think because you're in a vicious fight and you're going to bite that all of a sudden you're in a binary choice between the vicious asymmetrical and all the other stuff that also works. You're not, okay? So we're going to show you the eye jab. We're going to take you to the ground. We're going to show you how we roll from the top position. And then once we get to that point, then I'm going to kick in and I'm going to take you through the nuance of a simple bite. And you're going to see how long it takes us. And we're going to do one technique. And this will be the first technique that anyone on this planet knows how to function out of this art of Kina Muay Thai. It's not even my favorite technique. It's one that takes a long time and it's slow. And I chose this for a reason. Am I going too fast?
No, sir.
Because I did have another Starbucks. All right. Do you guys understand what we're saying now? Because this is where it gets a little bit like, I'm really been looking forward to this part. I didn't want to just teach this stuff because I want you to see the old stuff too. But now we're in the world of different stuff. So I want you to get some water, walk around, take a break, and land right back here. And Pedro is going to take you through to the ground. And then I am going to take you through the bite. And together as a team, he and I are going to give you guys the very first lesson in functional Kina Muay Thai here in Vegas this year, over the last 30 years. Okay, so give me a break. Take a break, I mean. That was a Freudian slip. Grab some water, and I'll meet you right back. give you one story of a loss I had. I forgot to tell you. And just so you understand how serious I take this. Okay. I was playing basketball in Long Beach. I don't know, about 4 years into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And having a real good game with a cool dude. He was a wrestler, about 5'6", 200 pounds or less. So he's a small dude. And all of a sudden, starts the guitar, tired, getting a little moody, elbow here, elbow there. F you. Okay? So, threw the ball over, squared off. Came at me with, like a few punches, and boom, I'm on the ground. All right? And I'll be honest with you, I don't remember what happened. I'd love to tell you I pulled guard, then he sweeped, and I did this. Okay, but I can tell you this. 15 minutes went by, at least. No exaggeration. Oh, I was just working so hard to get this guy off the top. He had such base. Dodging punches, doing shit. Finally, I got cross-eyed. This part I remember. And he's bucking off. Wrestlers hate to be on their back. Okay? And then I mounted him. And I'm like, thank God. I don't know if you know that feeling that you've worked so hard and you're scared shitless and you've had your ass beat for 20 minutes and you finally got positioned in this fight. It's better than, well, you know what I'm going to say. Okay? It's just, okay? And now, I go down for the ear bite. And you will say I'm exaggerating. I don't exaggerate. Not martial arts. If anything, I go the other direction. I'm mounted. I stretched his ear this high. I've never seen anything like it. It was the first ear I really ever got a good chunk of in a serious fight. It was like a rubber band. Okay? It snapped back out of my mouth. I remember the scream, the most hideous scream on this guy. And the next thing is, he ooped. And he just beat the snot out of me. Can you picture? Because I was on top. Now he oopas and he's in guard. And he just stood up and got that first shot in. And I took a terrible beating. Okay? Make a long story short, for 6 weeks. Oh my God. So I went to a butcher shop. And I got every type of gristle that you can get. Pig's ears, pig's this, that, intestine of this. And I'm just going to give this to you simple. When you have an ear in your mouth, there is no such thing as I'm going to just tear the ear off. Okay? We'll do a little nip thing in the pummel, but that's not meant to bite an ear off. Okay? You have to have the ear in your mouth, and it has to be in the back of your molars. And now, if you separate in any way, or if he tries to separate, and you lose contact of his cheek on your face, this is not going to work for you. So you have to press your face on his face as hard as you can. You get the ear in the molar, and you bite down. When you bite down, don't do what I did. Do the opposite. You don't bite and pull thinking you're going to pluck off an ear. You bite down and push harder on his face. So now the biggest thing you're trying to do is keep your face pressed to this person's face. And while you do that, now I'm going to digress back to eating gristle okay? The only way you get through that stuff is to saw your molars. So everybody bite, but not tight, just a bite. And go like this with your bottom jaw. You doing that? Are you sawing back and forth? Can you hear that sound on your teeth? The teeth are shut. Okay? When you do that for 8 seconds, all will be done. So your mission is to ride that Bronco for 8 seconds. And if this guy's bigger, stronger, better, you're on top, you're pressing the face, you got him in uninterrupted, and you're grinding that. He will have this hideous yell, and he will try to go around for your eyeballs every time. Every time. And now, what did I tell you about that move? It doesn't work. It doesn't work. You shut your eyes real hard, and somebody squeezes them. You can do that all day. Okay? Moreover, there's a way you can do it and cover your eyes, but I don't get into all that. So you're about to jump into a world where you have to hold on to a bronking bunco, keep your face pressed, and not freak out when he's biting, when he's gouging your eyes. You can't freak out. You can't go, oh shit, whoa dude. It's not that big a deal. It really isn't. I have to digress. You got to hear this. Another basketball fight. Big Samoan. Okay? I go boom right in his eye. He stops the fight. He runs over to the car. And I'm following him, and I go, oh, fuck, he's going to get out a gun. And just as I go to run, I see he's not going in the car. Big Samoan fighter. Way bigger than him. Street fighter. I fucked up. He's looking, and I'm over him. I'm about to, and he looks up at me, and I swear to God, he says this. That's why it's asymmetrical. It fucks with this. He goes, it's okay, bro. I'm okay. Mm-hmm. Excuse me? Oh, I'm going to sleep tonight. You're okay? Okay. But when you get your eyes messed with, no matter who you are, it's not the pain tolerance that you're used to. You might take this, you might take that, you might take that. But asymmetrically, you're emotionally a mess because someone's messing with stuff they shouldn't mess with. And you're like, whoa, whoa, don't be doing that. All right? So now we get back to you biting the ear. Don't be that Samoan that freaked out. Doesn't have to be gigantic size. This guy had more balls than I would ever have in a lifetime, but he pushed out over a little eye thing. So when you're biting the ear and you're riding the bronco, and what happens if you get ooped in this process? Nothing happens. I'm biting your ear. I don't care if I'm sitting here hanging from a ceiling. I'm just going to hold on. 8 seconds. Just know it, 8 seconds. So you have a goal, you know what you're trying to do. How do you practice this? I can't bite your ear and saw for 8 seconds. It's ridiculous, okay? What makes an arm lock or a choke work? The guy fights it and he fights it and he fights it. And if he can't, and if he fights it, he gets out. Now you gotta try again. But if you can't fight it because you're good at it, what does he do? You know what makes Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu functional? That's it. We do it until you're effed. And you're like, I'm done. Okay? Well, if you put a mouthpiece in, you can do the same thing. And you play the game, you get the ear. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. I pulled it out. Ooh, he's pressing. He's got it. I'm trying to oop. Ooh, he's got the ear again. I'm not feeling it. Ooh, I'm starting to feel it. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. You just did your first ear bite, functionally, for the first time in your life. You might have learned ear bites 20 years. You might have a stack of Kinamutai tapes to the ceiling. You just did your first ear bite. And that is the beginning of what I'm about to do for 3 years. And I'm going to condense 30 years into 3. You with me? Cool. Now I'm going to present the man. He's skinny and he's ugly. Pedro, give him a big hand.
Thank you, Sifu, thank you. I think. That was a compliment, right? Yes. All right, who's talking about the jab? I'm not going to talk too loud. Are you close enough here? All right, because I'm mic'd up and I don't want to blow that camera. We're going to start with the lead straight. Bruce Lee's jab, right? Little man, come on up here. So what you want to do is what Bruce would do. He's trying to get to the eyes, right, and back, to to the eyes and back. And what you're trying to do is whatever happens, boom, get the hand out, but it's not the out. Think about getting it back as fast as you sent it out or faster. So I try to touch his head. He tries to stop me. Boom. No, try to stop me. Boom. When he does touch, it's on retraction, right? So when they say big guys aren't fast, yeah, I guess I am kind of slow. Boop. Oh, yeah, no, but this one. Don't worry about this one. He's not going to stop it, right? So I go 1. That was from here. 2. That was from here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go 1, 2, and then on 3, I bring it back to here. So I'm just faking. I'm out, I'm looking, I just throw that one out back, throw that one out back, throw it out, and I'll leave this one this far. So now I only have to travel that close. So now I'm definitely going to hit him. So the trick is deception. You're not going to put it on the first one and go. She's going to see that. So I go out and back, out and back, out and 3/4. Out and back, out and back. Sorry. 3/4. Then I go. Boom. Nail him in the eyes. What happens? He covers his eyes. Then I rush it. Boom. And then I dump him. All right. So I guess you can't be fast. So what? 250? Not bad. Oh, yeah. We're slamming him. So since we're not gonna slam him, he's gonna put himself right there like I did slam him. So we're gonna go this way. On your back. Once he's down here, okay, I'm gonna go, sorry, knee on belly. For real, this doesn't touch the ground, okay? This, I'm gonna be nice, is up here, and I'm riding, okay? And when Vu talks about elbows and all the other nasty stuff, when I go here, when he goes to push that knee off, what happens here? Boom! That hand gets broken. So he touches my knee, and he took it, bang. I break the back of his hand. So then I go bang, that's broken, boom, boom, boom. You wearing a cup?
No, it's all right. Keep going.
You hurt your hand?
I found it. It was in there.
I lost one.
So again, you give him no break. This is riding. Oh, hard. He puts something on here. I don't want to hold hands. We're at the movies. He touches my knee. I touch him back. He tries to throw that. Covered, right? Touch, touch, touch. Bang, 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 right? But while I'm here, the first thing I'm going to do, see where this is? So we can't reach it. Comes flying in. Goes up. Boom! Don't drag it. It's not this sissy knee. Bring it up. Bang! And after you do that, thump, bang, boom. Now I'm here. How you get that? Slow, methodical, deliberate. So I get down here. Slow motion. He touches my knee. Slow motion. I thumb the eyes. So I slam the knee. So I almost drop the headbutt, hit, and then I roll. This leg, he's not a horse. I'm not a dog pissing on a fire hydrant. Don't do this. That's not mounting. I don't know what it is, but it's not mounting. Boom, right? I drag it home, and I'm here, right? So I slam him. Knee comes way out. Slam. Boom, boom. Maybe this. He touches that knee. Bang. Got it? Do it.
Time out. Do this, guys. Do this, okay? So when she does her, guys. So when she does her jab, okay? Do your let me go that direction for the camera. Perfect. Now do your jab. Do your eye jab. Go ahead. That's me. Yeah. Good. Now do it again. See this movement? From here down is nice, but this movement we don't want. So what Bruce would do is this, be real quick. This didn't do anything. This part, because you don't need power. So your speed is quadrupled, okay? So here's what I like to do. I'll hold the arm like that, and then you kind of make a fist, or kind of like loose, and then go boom, and just straight out, and hit, and then hit that straight. No, straight punch. Yeah, right. Do it again. Yeah. Okay, so I don't let this move. Give me a focus man here. Come here. Put your little hand. There you go. Ready, set, go. Okay, watch me. You're holding this. So don't even move this. Just straight ahead, but this doesn't move. If I hold this, it'll go straight out, and then ricochet back. Boom. Go ahead. Yeah. Okay. Are you following me? That's the. It goes like it looks boom. See, it's not boom. It's not boom. It's boom. This stays out. Yeah. This boom. Just for a moment to get this. It doesn't boom. It doesn't really. Just get that part. It's just want to touch. I don't need power. Power, this whole thing pistons. But if you're already halfway out, you're just doing that. The greatest analogy I ever heard of Jeet Kune Do was out of the mouths of the babes. Joe Rogan, my favorite guy. And he was pissed off about the gloves, and he hates those finger gloves. He's like, God darn, I hate those things. We got to cover the finger gloves. And he says this all the time. And here comes his analogy. And these were the words that were spoken. All you got to do is extend your front hand 3/4 of the way out. And then every time the guy moves, beat him to the punch and poke him in the eye. That's what he said, word for word. What better definition of Jeet Kune Do is that? Or is it of that punch? 99 out of 100 Jeet Kune Do instructors don't know that. This is not a Jeet Kune Do jab, just because it's vertical. The Jeet Kune Do jab, this is 3/4 of the way out. And only this moves. There's follow-up. Okay, hit it again. Take the demo from the top. Take it all the way to the ground again, just like you did. That was perfect.
So show it again.
Watch again the small points, guys. Don't hook in the beginning, straight, and it only hooks.
Should we put a hat on that thing? Put a hat on it?
I got a couple.
You do?
Go for it.
So what he's saying is, and that was the question about why is the hand 3/4 of the way out? Well, if I'm going to give you a race that we're going to run, and I say you get 3/4 of the way to the finish line, would you like that? Everybody would say yes. So it's about putting the hand out. Now this is lower, so usually they don't pay attention. So it goes out and back, out and back, out and then 3/4. And then I just hang here instead of back here. So now I'm traveling from here instead of back here. And like Vu said, I'm going to touch, but it's the retraction. So I'm here. And as soon as I go out, I'm already thinking, get that thing back. It's like touching a hot iron. So I'm here. Boom. Stop this hand, okay? I'm coming. Ooh.
Okay, now that is beaten with the rock. Now this time, just do jab, jab, and then on 3/4, I'll beat him.
Okay.
Boom. Pat it, no. Pat it with your rear hand. Okay. See how that works, guys? It's a fake. Okay? It's just another move that we have to get that
So
in.
you're going out, and then in. Okay? So you're going 3/4 like we just did. So when you get there, you hit the eyes. When his hands go up, that's when you're in. Get him up. You slam him. Now, when you land, remember, when you have someone, too many people grab and slam and forget, you better open your hands. If you slam somebody on the street, look how I am. Just like knees land first. So when I slam, I better make sure and then I land here. Okay? And all the weight is on here. Just like if I was to slam, I'd keep my body on him. So there's the weight. This comes up, way up here. Slam. After I slam the face, immediately, bang, boom, bang, and I'm back over. In between, like we said, the second he touches that knee, because that is too much more work, break that hand. That's the asymmetrical. He touches, I touch him back. Oh, sorry.
No, again.
Touch, 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 touch thumb. Slow motion, touch, touch thumb. Move this so I'm not hurting you. Boom, boom. I drop immediately. It's over, boom, my thumb in the eye. Thumb in the headbutt. Okay? So it all works in a row. So, knee, headbutt, Slam the groin, headbutt again. And when you're up here, make sure you're controlled. Okay? Everybody got it? Is that good,
go.
Sir.
Let me hit you with a different angle on the triple thing, so you get where we're coming from. That's not what you do. That's just a thing you add to. So for example, move around with me. Okay? I'm always here. This is always 3/4 of the way out. Do something. Okay? Okay, so I'm always 3/4 of the way out. That's all the time. Now let's say that isn't working. Or maybe it works once or twice. Don't go away. So, yeah, why don't you slip out of the way? Yeah. Oh, yeah. So he's like, oh, fuck, he's eye jabbing me. Shit. Okay? So now you just kind of do one. You do two, and back to here. And you do three. Oh. It just doesn't come back all the way. It only comes back 3/4. Okay? All the way. Pat it. Boom. Pat it. Boom. Pat it. Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. It doesn't come back all the way. It only comes back to here. Whoop. You don't need power. Dan had a new timer. He was all proud of his new timer. He's got it up. And you hit the thing. He's, oh, Paul, I got a new toy. Oh, you got to see it. Okay? So all the JKD guys get up. And we're all lined up on this thing. And we're waiting for that light to come on. And we're trying to explode into that, see who's fastest. And Dan's trying to tell us, what is all this? He goes, this isn't Enter the Dragon. Relax. You're carrying too much. And we're like, and I remember Chris is like, what's we talking about carrying too much? Torrance is over here. I don't carry enough. And we're like, what's he talking about? His first wife, Sue. She was in the office. He goes, Sue, come here. And Sue hates martial arts. And she don't want to be drawn in the crowd. And she's like, oh, damn, I don't want to. Come on, Sue. Oh, damn. All right. So he pulls her out there, and he goes, now hit it when it goes light. Because she's already done it, and he knows. Now, we already had our numbers. I was a 9, a few people got up to 11, you know, so we had our little numbers. So she's looking at it, and she goes, okay. She just didn't give a shit. Boom, okay, can I go? There was no power, there was no, ooh, it was like, I don't want to. Okay, that's an eye jab. Move around with me. I'm gonna go boom for some power, okay. I might want a big power punch, that's the opposite one. I don't really care. Okay? You don't need power for the eyes. You can be Bruce Lee with speed. All right? All right, go play.
We're talking about flow, right? You don't want to just jump from thing to thing, because that's not flowing, right? So if your hand is already here, right? If I put enough pressure, somebody asked me, oh, the big guys can't get the knee over here. Well, if you want to take a shortcut, put more pressure. See what he's doing? Put more pressure. As soon as he touches, you're going to go like this. That in slow motion. Boom, boom, boom. Who's famous ear slap, eye gouge, and my break the hand. Love breaking hands. That's why he got keto. So you put the pressure. He touches. He's going to. Yeah. Take the hand. Take the eye. Take the ear. Go, please, play.
I got a question before you play. Lay down a second. If I were, my mind is slipping, the owner of the UFC.
Dana White.
If I were my old friend Dana White, who I knew in the 80s, okay, and if I saw this, how do you think I'd like it in my UFC? What he just showed.
You wouldn't like it.
You don't think I like it?
No. You wouldn't have any
So you mean to tell me that if all of my customers paid $500,000 for tickets, and one slam was here, and the minute someone slams, he just goes back in the balls and the fight's over. You don't think Dana would like it? I don't either. And you know what? That's why it's not in. Moreover, it would be a tough sell. Okay, but everything that we're doing is stuff that they're not used to defending because it's illegal.
You wouldn't have many fighters afterwards.
You wouldn't have any customers afterwards either. There's always
Cable
crazy
networks
enough people
either.
to fight under any condition, but people go, no, I know. Watch this, okay? It's so nuts. Think about this. To have this sport of fighting evolve. $1 billion for 30 years, every art in the world threw their hat in. The greatest arts rose to the top with one caveat. The real good techniques that win a fight, I don't want anybody to do because it won't make us any money. Okay? So no eye jabs, no groin shots, no big knees, no big headbutts, no shots in the throat. Can you imagine in the clinch if somebody could just go, thumb me, I need the balls? How many times have you seen the face up there, face to face? Just scream and bite my ear off. This is what will win a fight. But here's the paradox. Some knucklehead will come along and go, Vunak said this nasty shit is what wins a fight. So I'm going to buy his videotape on all the nasty shit. And he buys a bunch of tapes and he learns the shit. What's the problem with that? He hasn't functionalized it. Absolutely, guys. Moreover, in order to functionalize it, he'd have to be at least a Thai boxer. Because you can't step in the big, tall grass with the big dogs, okay, if you can't Thai box, okay? And once you get in with the Thai boxers and you learn how to deal with that thigh kick and you know what the clinch is, and you've had thousands of hours in that clinch, okay, the only thing you can do better is poke the eyes and kick the groin, okay? But those moves don't work without doing that. You can't just be this guy that comes along going, I'll just poke eyes and kick groin and I don't ever need to spend hours kickboxing and trading punches. That's baloney. I'll do biting on the ground and I don't need to spend thousands of hours in mat time rolling. Abject, manifest idiocy, okay?
That's one of the biggest things in self-defense, though. That's what I always say. Oh, I should poke them in the eyes, I'll kick them in the balls, or I'll bite them. And they've never done it. The people you telling them they should learn self-defense. I hear that so much.
Isn't it ironic? And the irony is, what they said doesn't work, yet what they said works.
Right.
Oh yeah, if you
I've never done it.
If you poke them in the eye and kick them in the balls, training properly while you're Thai boxing and learn how to do that asymmetrical violence while you're Thai boxing. And the bite thing you're talking about is an art called Kinamutai, Southern Mindanao. And yeah, they got that shit down pretty well. But you gotta do it while you're wrestling, homeboy. Gotta do it while you're wrestling. You gotta do it. You gotta do it when you're defending stuff. Everything sounds great on paper. Everybody's got a plan. And the first time, boom, you go, oh, fuck. And your lip is bleeding, your eyes, your nose, and there's watering. And now, if your plan doesn't work now, hire a bodyguard. Lead a less aggressive life. Carry a weapon. Take up the piano. Because martial art ain't gonna help you. Okay? So that crazy paradox that in order for the really violent shit that I teach the military to work, it has to ride in on the pony of the best stand-up and the best ground fighting. And that pony is what we say. And you know, anybody can say, yeah, well, this guy's a kickboxer. And he's never had, he's not a Thai boxer, and he got in with a Thai boxer and he beat him. Okay, that happens. You know why? This kickboxer has experienced Thai boxing. This kickboxer has had his legs kicked. He knows how to get out of the clinch a little bit. He's had some experience with it. So he knows the defense of Thai boxing, per se. Okay? I don't care what kickboxer you are. I don't care if you've never stepped in the ring and had your legs kicked by someone who really knows how to do it, not just some dude kicking legs, and felt the terribleness of this clinch with the big knees and the elbows raining down on you. You can't get in, okay? So you can't poke the eyes and kick the balls unless you've done that. And all that biting and 50 cents will get you a cup of coffee unless you know how to wrestle. But boy, oh boy, when you know your jiu-jitsu and then you mix your fighting with it, functionalized, and you know your Thai boxing and then you put your asymmetrical violence in with it, and then you say to yourself, with this art that would never get any better, we'll have a nuclear war before we'll ever get a better art than this. It's just simply a turbo of what MMA is. It's MMA with asymmetrical, okay? And that's it, boys. That's as good as it gets, okay? All right, let's give it a try, please. Same thing. Everything Pedro works. Okay, now what I have done throughout this seminar is woven every 2 minutes my functional program in it. Whether you've known it or not, that's all I've been talking about is functionalizing. Okay, I don't really go into this much detail on it. It's usually a bit more chocolate and candy and have fun and see flash when I fly around and do seminars. Okay, you guys are deeper. I know a lot of you. Your questions are deeper, and we went deeper. Moreover, I want to show this the way I want to show it. And if folks don't want to see slow stuff that's a little boring, too bad, because this is what works. Okay? So you have right now 10 hours of my first ranking system. Okay? So you need 30 hours to become a blue belt. Oh, excuse me, 50 hours to become a blue belt. Okay? So you've got your first 10. Okay? The first move we're going to learn in this 10 is going to be a very slow, methodical, not dramatic, semi-boring way to get to a bite, just to show you how this art is. Because there's moves that we do that bust, ooh, headbutt, boom, boom, bite, but everything isn't that dramatic. Sometimes you go for that quick headbutt like you do, and he defends you and mounts you and punches you, and so now you have to work your way into this thing slowly, because you're not just fighting some amateur. Okay, are you pleased? I'll just take it from the mount position. Okay, so when we mount, anything up here is for punching. Whenever you punch, you want to be up as high as in the armpits as you can. Okay? Conversely, if you want your face down near his face, that's the low mount. When you put on the low mount, okay, these legs want to come in. Okay, you want to hook the legs, and then you do your thing. So you get down onto the low mount. All right? Now, an amateur, when you mount him and you slap him a few times, he's going to flare with the arms. Okay? And he's just screaming, lock me, arm lock, arm lock. Okay? We know this in our sleep. Please don't make me demonstrate that move. Okay? A more seasoned person, particularly in the world of jiu-jitsu, okay, is just going to not a super seasoned, but a little more seasoned, will have their hands like this. Yeah, more covered. When you do that, sometimes you're susceptible to that. You've seen that, right, America? Okay, so generally speaking, not always, there's a little cross. Just a little bit, just a little cross going on. He keeps his arms tight. Okay, he's ooping, he's looking for his elbow escape. He's nice and safe. Think of jiu-jitsu now, not so much MMA. Okay, so this is the man I'm dealing with at the moment. Okay, I want to get down low. Now, here's my goal. My goal is to get this arm here, get this hand here, to ease up on the mount a little, and to just slowly turn this guy to about this position. Okay? Can you see any advantageous reasons for this? Okay, so now when I'm in this position, okay, I have my first bite here, and my second bite here, and my third bite, and the whole thing. So I'm going to show you how you work that. So the first thing I want you to do is I just want you to come down, okay, you're that guy, okay. I'm just going to come down here, and my elbows are going to lock in this way. And I'm going to put my weight down. Yeah, that's the very first thing. Can I get everybody? I'll just do it on this side, okay? So when my weight is on him, I actually need to do it.
You want me to turn on the other way?
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so once my weight is down on him, and I'm here, okay, I'm going to start with this elbow. I push it up just a little, and I press back down. Okay, see my hooks here? Oop, I'll move around a little bit. I'm just kind of sticking here. Okay, okay, so now, once I press it, I move it up a little bit more. This is going to come around, and I grab it. Okay, now, everybody come up to here for me. Oh, please take your time. This is so comfortable.
For somebody.
Okay, now, in this position, I can feel that I'm not tight enough. Give me a little oop and work your way out of it. Yeah, that's not working for me. Go back, please. Okay, go back to where we were. Put this back around here. So what I do is I pull this and I push with my chest. And then I re-grab. Okay, now he's almost in a choke. Look at his face. Okay, now let's count the asymmetrical we can do. Nose, eyes, fingers. And once I flip them all the way around, I've got this finger. So your goal is, from this person, you get down, you hold it tight, you bump that arm up a little bit, you reach around, nope, not enough, bump it up a little more. Reach around and grab it. You cinch it up. Tighten it up. And now, boom! Go for your peanut butter tie. Boom, boom, boom. Okay? Got any questions? Let's give it a try. And come as close as you can so I can show you the proper movement for the eyeball. Okay, eyeball, your eyeball, please. He's got a smile before I gouge his eyes. Okay, so pretend like we're on the ground and I've got him in some compromised position. We don't have to do that. That was okay, I don't have to get back down. We're going to do the eye gouge properly. What doesn't work? Pushing. Pushing doesn't work. You can push until, okay? What does work? Okay, now when we scratch, we want to put, I won't scratch, but we put the thumb on the horizontal to the bottom eyelid, just like this. That's all. Do you see that? If you just try to scratch, could you shut that for me? If you just try to scratch like this, like this, like this, you're doing nothing. Okay? So you just put it right here. Now, when you do that, then this scratches the eye. You literally go in the seam of the eye, and this is more surgery. And then when you get in, I swear to God, that's all you need. It's terrible. I don't know if you ever have a grain of sand in your eye. Okay? I remember this football game. Guy catches the ball. He's running down the field. This linebacker with green teeth and hair, chasing him. He's about just in the Super Bowl. The adrenaline's pumping. He's ready to go. Over here, referee sees a clip, throws a flag. The flag just goes boop, and just goes across this guy. And just as he goes to tackle him, he's on his knees, like that. I think last night during the UFC fight, somebody caught one in the eye. Yeah. They're on the ground. You know? So you can gouge till hell freezes over. So you just boop, boop, find it there, and then you do it. You just keep doing it. You don't stop. You keep doing it. It goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. So when we wear swim goggles, I put white out on one eyeball. Can't put it on two. Okay, so you put it on one, and that's the one we go for. And if I get you on the ground and I'm doing my scratching, and you're doing your scratching, and I'm doing my scratching, it's hard to tell who's winning and what you're getting. Okay, when we end, we pluck off yours, and we pluck off mine, and we go, where's the white on yours? I don't see any. Or maybe, you follow me? All right, and we have it with the teeth and the deal. And this is just the beginning. I'm giving you this much of this much. Day one, functionalizing this stuff. Okay.
When you do the strike to the thing,
Scratch. Don't scratch it.
The scratch.
Yeah.
What's the normal reaction from the person if you're gonna hold it there and keep scratching it?
You mean like audible reaction?
What is it?
Emotional, physical. I can give you all of them. Which reaction would you like? Audibly?
Yeah.
E flat F minor.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. You don't have a choice. You know, everybody's got their own level of panic. If you did this to one of my SEALs that I've trained personally in SEAL Team 6, you wouldn't hear any audio. Okay? Remember the analogy I gave yesterday? Let's say you're all my friends and you're all SEALs, and I've lived with you my whole life, and we're brothers, and your knee is shot, and you are my brother, and he's making noises, and these noises are going to get every one of you not killed, tortured beyond your wildest imagination. This is not bullshit. This is typical SEAL Team 101 shit. Okay? Now what do you do with this noise maker that you love? Okay? So let's reverse this. We'll lighten up the scene a little bit. Okay? One of the things we do is we inflict pain on all the SEALs. And when you first inflict the pain, you're gonna go, hey, dude, what the fuck? What are you doing? There's that visceral, Some people, ooh, hey! There's a bunch of them. Okay? I've never heard this one though. I've never heard that one. Okay, you have to train for that one. And in the beginning, and we find out electrical makes them louder, so it was a no-brainer. And it's like, okay, you pass. Next. And it wasn't that easy. Okay? So I'm just giving you the whole gamut, digest as you will, take what you want, throw away what you don't. Okay? But that's how you scratch an eye. Go play. your Americana. Yeah. Because people that know how, that's not a good position. But the point is, though, this move is for a seasoned man who's breathing and relaxing, and you have to play this chess game, like this, and then, and you breathe and you relax, and you're looking around you for bottles and crazy wives and cars going by, and as you're breathing, you're looking at, okay, I mean, it's combat. All right, 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes.
All right.
Okay, so kind of go back to the first day. Review everything in your mind. See if we got any. Get yourself at home. You're working the knife. Why did we do the knife? Swatting you with a knife and all of a sudden you're trapping it? What was that about? Remember?
Body mechanics?
Body mechanics and attributes. To be able to trap without having reference points. Yeah. So if you can trap that knife swinging around, that front hand's not that difficult. So we're making these slow transitions into the MMA thing. Okay, so go over all that in your head. Question?
Is there any drills that you say to do or go over if you're alone by yourself to work on stuff like that?
Are you speaking martial arts now?
Yes.
Okay. I have a lot of those alone drills. Carenza is my favorite. Okay, I love get on the stereo, take a little pop, line up all your weapons, get out your stick, get out your double stick, 10 minutes with each, get out your knife, look in the mirror, and just work. When you watch yourself with the knife, you can see that knife makes you move different than the stick, which makes you move different than the double stick. Each one of those weapons brings out a different attribute. You know, of course, the heavy bag, but the king of solo training is Carenza. Anybody else? Any other questions? Cool. Your certs are here. You're on your way to becoming a blue belt. Okay? When you come to my house or anybody's house for IPTP training, this counts. Okay? Everything that we do counts as hours. When you get, in order to get your blue belt, there will be about 10 techniques you'll have to know. You know one of them now. Okay? Roughly. And we're going to watch you spar them. And if 3 of them are functional and the other 7 aren't, you can have 50 hours or you can have 50,000 hours. And I'm going to say, bro, you can come back and I'll train you for free. It's not about more money for me. But you're not a blue belt yet. I don't like the way you did the arm lock. You're not capturing it right. You got to hold base first. You're not even holding base. You know what I mean? Don't get your feelings hurt. Shit. What I went through with my instructors, the nicest thing Aunt Dan has ever said to me, personally as a compliment, he goes, Vunak, have you been working your weapons lately? I go, yeah. He goes, yeah, they're no longer shitty. Thank you. Yeah. So that's the mission for the blue belt. We'll talk about purple later, but it's not dissimilar than jiu-jitsu. In jiu-jitsu, you have go-to locks that work all the time, and then you have more sublime things that work occasionally. That thing I just showed you is more of a more sublime thing that works occasionally. It's not, it's for a specific posture. Okay, I'm starting from the bottom up, my 10, okay? And you're gonna learn things that you might do, and out of that 10, there'll be 3 of them that you're gonna do all the time, kind of like a rear naked choke and an arm lock and a triangle, okay? And that's your blue belt. And when you're doing it right, you're a blue belt. Now we go up to purple belt. And then you're gonna learn how to attack 2 things at once, and you're gonna go for the eye gouge because you really want the bite. So I'm gonna teach you how to put people in a fork. So you're always attacking 2 things. You go like you're gonna bite the face, the nose, and he's like tucking the nose, but you want the thumb in the eye. So there's 85 forks so far that I've found just from here up, where it's like, I defend, oh shit. When I would roll with Hoist, he would be like, half asleep, and whenever he wanted to tap me, he would tap me. And when I got really decent at jiu-jitsu, well, nothing changed. Nothing changed, okay? But then when I met, well, Horian was that way, excuse me, I said Hoist. Now Hoist is a very wiry guy, and he'd put his leg over your, so his way of beating you was not slow like a lawyer. Horian's an attorney, he's a methodical, didactic mind. Joe Hoist, on the other hand, is a playful kid. We play foosball. I watched this guy go from a kid to stepping in the ring with chemo. And so when he beat you differently. When Hoyler beat you, and you get arm locked by Hoyler, it's like, okay? There's no, because he's little, he's 140 pounds, and they call him the, he's like the real, everybody rolls a little different according to morphology. And then there's Hickson, okay? Who's just like nobody. And he beats you slowly all the time. He never gets out of first gear. Everything is about breathing and yoga. While when he went to fight Takada, you know what he did for training to fight Takada? While Takada is in this $60 million gym, Japanese gym was jacuzzis and all this crazy shit training for his big fight, I drove Hickson up to the mountains. And it's like, this is it? We're not going to train? I am training. I go, you're going to swim? It's default water. He's freezing. So we go up to this stream. He takes his clothes off and he puts a mask on with a friggin' snorkel. And he gets in the water. I put my big toe in the water and I screamed. It was ice. My toe was throbbing like a headache. And he breathes. I go, why are you doing this? To calm my mind. Like it isn't calm enough. And he sat there for a half an hour. He goes, okay, now we go home. And that was his training. It's yoga, it's mind, it's different. It's just manifestly different. Okay? No final questions on anything? Who wants to do a class? Does anybody interested in the class? If you do, see us after, okay? And if we have a 2-hour class that we're gonna continue with you guys if you want to do something, okay? I have a couple announcements to make. Where is my person? Okay, perfect. Richard, where are you, buddy? Sir. Okay, Richard Crane, full instructor. Good man. Jason, get your butt up here. Jason Lee. Apprentice instructor. Full instructor. I was just fucking with you.
Wow, thank
He
you.
even still smiles. He goes, oh, great. All right, you guys. I'm all done. Did you have fun?
Yes, sir.
Cool. You want to do it again? Oh yeah, we can do as much as you want out here. You want to do this again? We'll come out again. We got all your names and everything? All right. Well, I'll come out and we'll crank out another 20 hours. We'll work some different stuff. A couple months, I'll pop back out here and do it again with you.
Where are you located, Super Bowl?
I'm only in Oceanside. This was only a 4-hour drive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Would you be interested in coming to Texas? Line out.
What was that Mr. T used to say when it give him all those drugs and get him on the plane. How did I get here? What'd you do? You gotta do that shit to me, maybe. No, I don't fly. I quit flying. I quit flying 20 years ago. Yeah, I just.
Drive?
Oh, I love driving. I'll drive, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I just started getting more and more claustrophobic. Those planes got smaller and smaller. For 30 years, it was my routine. Take a plane on Friday, fly to some country, stay there for 2 or 3 days, do my seminar, get home on a Wednesday, jet lag to shit. Thursday, basically still a little jet lag, and get back on the thing Friday. And I did that literally for 30 years. And the last year, I couldn't get on a plane anymore. I just couldn't do it. They kept doing this. But you guys are really, I had a fun time with you. Okay? You girls, you're off the chart. You guys, you gave all the answers. Women have their shit together so much more than men. I mean, in almost every metric, you guys are so rough around the edges. Women are so, they're eloquent, but they cut you still. If you bought a pair of shorts and you said, "Hon, do these make me look fat?" Right? You would, what would you say? "No, hon, your ass makes you look fat." Okay? No, you would be sweet. Because that's how women are. Anyway, you guys, thank you. I love you. Right on.